Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 45 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to be a revelation film, answering many of the burning questions from The Force Awakens, as well as really creating brand new questions at the very beginning of this movie that will be answered at the very end of Episode 9. So that's one thing to really look forward to seeing in this movie, is to see exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize the characters of Kylo Ren, Rey, and a whole lot more in this story. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9 that taps into the expanded universe. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that, of course, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are said to be on board of the Ravager Star Destroyer that is around the same size as Snoke's Supremacy ship. It's explained that Kylo Ren is said to be sitting inside of his chambers, telling his Knights of Ren to leave him, where after they leave, it's explained that this is where Kylo begins to talk to the Darth Vader melted helmet. After Kylo's conversation with the helmet and hearing voices in his head, he places the melted helmet in a chamber and picks up his saber off of a shelf in the background. On the same wall, it's explained that the mask of Darth Revan can be seen in the distance, where it's explained that Kylo Ren actually based his helmet off of Darth Revan's helmet, and that this is going to be JJ's explanation as to why they both appear very similar in design, and that Kylo Ren's overall look was inspired by the masked warrior of Darth Revan that he learned about from Supreme Leader Snoke. It's described that also Kylo Ren requested the Forger in the Dark Spire to develop his mask to appear like Revan's as self. Darth Revan was a powerful Sith Lord who was a popular character in the expanded universe, and that this is said to be Disney's way of making him canon once more. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, in case you guys did not know, Darth Revan was almost canon some years ago for, I believe it was a Star Wars The Clone Wars episode or Star Wars Rebels. One of those animated TV series, Darth Revan almost made it into, as well as Starkiller. That was another character that almost was going to be canon in Star Wars Rebels or an animated TV series. But looking at The Rise of Skywalker, this is a prime example of J.J. Abrams trying to really bring in many different pieces of the EU that's going to be used as a way to kind of just advance the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren. Now, the fact that they are really using Darth Revan as an in-universe answer as to why Kylo Ren's helmet/mask looks very similar to that of Darth Revan's, how he even wears it in a similar way with the hood over his head while wearing a mask, is all said to be inspired by Darth Revan himself. Basically, Kylo Ren knows about this Sith Lord that existed many years before the events of the originals and the prequels. And this is really a clever way by Disney and Lucasfilm to really introduce Darth Revan into the current canon. We could already see that in The Last Jedi, when we got to see that red kyber crystal necklace that Luke Skywalker owned. If you guys actually research The Last Jedi novelization and the visual dictionary, you will learn that that actually belonged to a Jedi Crusader during the Old Republic. And the Jedi Crusaders, by the way, was actually led by Darth Revan at one point in time, many years before the events of the prequel trilogy era. So that was the first hint, and this by far is the biggest move by Disney and Lucasfilm to make Darth Revan a thing in the Star Wars universe that falls under the Disney canon. Now, as much of a fan I really am of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic and that entire era of the Star Wars franchise, this really seems like a nice and smooth way for Disney and Lucasfilm to kind of get the fans a little familiar with Darth Revan. People are going to probably be asking themselves, casual fans I must add, you know, who is that? What helmet is that? Who did that once belong to? And they're going to research that, and they're going to find out exactly who it is and why Kylo Ren looks the way he does. And that's a very interesting aspect by JJ, the fact that he's kind of drawing in a lot of expanded universe material and using it in different ways than ever before, where Kylo Ren is actually using the Darth Revan helmet as a way of inspiration, if you will. Now, with that being said, we do know that the Knights of Ren, we also went over this not too long ago, that this group has existed for many years upon years, and that there were many different generations of the Knights of Ren, and the ones that we do see in The Rise of Skywalker is the latest generation, so they aren't the only ones. In case you guys haven't seen, in the official comic of both Ben Solo and Luke Skywalker, it's a very interesting comic that's coming out later this year, you do see that one of the Knights of Ren actually is wielding a lightsaber, and that could very well have been the other generation of the Knights of Ren before the other one pretty much, rise to power and pretty much brought in Kylo Ren as Kylo Ren to become the new dark side user, a part of the First Order, and Snoke's apprentice. So that's the side of the story that I really find to be the most interesting, is the new Sith lore, the new Jedi lore, and everything to do with the Force, and how JJ's drawing a lot of ideas from Legends and making it into canon material. So anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.